Understanding the Great Wealth Transfer. The Great Wealth Transfer refers to the unprecedented transfer of assets from one generation to the next, specifically from baby boomers in the silent generation to millennials and Gen Z. With nearly $84 trillion estimated to change hands over the next 2 decades, this wealth transfer is the largest in history, according to a report from Cerulli Associates. The primary generations passing on this wealth, the silent generation, born 1928 to 1945, and baby boomers, born 1946 to 1964, accumulated considerable assets due to unique economic conditions. Following World War II, a period of economic growth and government support for homeownership allowed these generations to amass property, savings, and investments. The silent generation in baby boomers benefited from rising housing markets, stable employment, and relatively low levels of debt. In contrast, millennials and Gen Z have grown up in an economy defined by rapid technological changes, rising educational costs, and stagnant wages, leading to greater financial challenges. According to Pew Research, while the silent generation and boomers hold substantial wealth, millennials hold only 5% of U.S. wealth, despite making up over 20% of the workforce. This transfer of wealth is expected to reshape economic dynamics, potentially alleviating some of these financial burdens for younger generations. The scale of wealth being transferred. The scope of the Great Wealth Transfer is immense, with approximately $84.4 trillion in wealth expected to pass to younger generations. This transfer encompasses various assets, including real estate, stocks, retirement funds, and other savings accumulated by boomers and the silent generation over their lifetimes. Unlike previous transfers, the total amount involved has been magnified by rising property values, stock market growth, and decades of steady accumulation. The timeline for this transfer is projected over the next 20 years, during which this wealth will gradually shift to heirs, beneficiaries, and charities. This phased approach means younger generations, primarily millennials and Gen Z, will inherit assets over time, potentially providing them with improved financial security. As reported by Accenture, a significant percentage of this wealth will likely be inherited by millennials, as they are the primary successors to the baby boomer generation. For millennials and Gen Z, many of whom have faced high living costs, stagnant wages, and large student debts, this inheritance could be transformative, but it also introduces the challenge of managing substantial wealth, often without prior experience. Why this transfer is so impactful? The Great Wealth Transfer isn't just a shift in wealth, it's a change that could redefine economic power and societal structure. Over the past few decades, wealth has become increasingly concentrated among a small percentage of the population. This transfer, however, has the potential to disrupt that pattern. According to a Harvard Business School study, wealth distribution among millennials and Gen Z could help balance the scales, offering a level of financial security unseen by previous younger generations. One critical aspect of this transfer is the potential for economic stimulation. As millennials and Gen Z inherit wealth, they may redirect funds into different sectors, from sustainable investments to tech startups. A report from Morgan Stanley notes that younger generations show a strong preference for impact investing, which could lead to increased funding for renewable energy, education, and health. However, this transfer also brings risks. Inherited wealth can inflate asset bubbles, especially in housing and stock markets, where surges in demand may outpace supply. The National Bureau of Economic Research has reported that large wealth influxes can destabilize markets if new beneficiaries make rapid financial decisions without proper guidance. This transfer, while beneficial, could thus result in economic volatility. How wealth transfer could shape the future. The Great Wealth Transfer could profoundly influence spending, investment, and broader economic patterns. As millennials and Gen Z receive inherited wealth, they may introduce shifts in investment preferences, with many experts predicting a heightened interest in socially responsible investments. UBS Global Wealth Management reports that over 70% of millennials prioritize investments with environmental, social, and governance (ESG) criteria, suggesting a future where capital flows increasingly into sustainable and ethical businesses. Financial markets could see ripple effects as a result. Unlike previous generations, Millennials and Gen Z have shown a strong inclination toward alternative assets, including cryptocurrency and tech-driven financial platforms. A report from Deloitte indicates that younger investors are twice as likely to invest in digital assets than older generations. If even a fraction of the $84 trillion flows into these areas, it could drive significant growth and volatility, reshaping the investment landscape. Challenges facing Millennials and Gen Z. While the great wealth transfer presents many opportunities, it also brings unique challenges for Millennials and Gen Z who often face steep financial hurdles. A primary issue is the burden of student loan debt, with the Federal Reserve estimating that Americans under 40 hold over $1.5 trillion in student debt. For these generations, inherited wealth could help ease such debts, but without guidance, it may not lead to long-term financial security. Another challenge is financial literacy. According to TIAA Institute, only 25% of millennials demonstrate a basic understanding of financial principles, a skill gap that can make managing inherited wealth challenging. What needs to happen for a fairer wealth distribution? To maximize the benefits of the great wealth transfer and promote economic fairness, several steps are necessary. First, financial education is essential. Many millennials and Gen Z lack experience in handling large sums, as noted by National Endowment for Financial Education, which found that only a third of young adults feel financially prepared. By increasing access to financial literacy programs, young inheritors can make more informed choices about saving, investing, and spending. Tax policy reform is another key factor. Inheritance and estate tax laws significantly impact wealth distribution. According to a Brookings Institution report, progressive tax structures could help ensure that wealth transfers don't overly benefit only the already wealthy. Tax reforms aimed at making wealth more accessible could help create a more balanced economic landscape, especially if they provide relief for middle-class beneficiaries. Lastly, encouraging responsible wealth use can support a fairer society. Philanthropy is one avenue. Charitable Giving Foundation reports that younger generations are more likely than their predecessors to support social causes. By promoting philanthropy among wealth recipients, society can encourage positive impacts on community development and social equity. Conclusion: preparing for the wealth transfer. The Great Wealth Transfer presents Millennials and Gen Z with new financial power and opportunities to reshape the economy. However, it also brings challenges, such as market volatility and wealth mismanagement. Financial literacy, careful planning, and sound policy are essential to harness these benefits sustainably. With proactive preparation and responsible approaches, this wealth shift can pave the way for a more balanced, future-focused economy. Thanks for watching. If this helped, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights on wealth and finance. Let's get prepared together.